Once upon a time, in a peaceful village nestled by the great river Zanga, lived a girl named Amina. The village depended on the river for everything: its water, its fish, and the fertile lands it nourished. However, there was an ancient belief that the river was not just a flowing body of water, but the home of a powerful and mysterious spirit, the river spirit. The villagers believed that the river spirit protected them, blessing them with abundant harvests and healthy livestock. But they also feared the spirit, for it was said that if angered, the river spirit could unleash its wrath, flooding the land and washing away homes and crops. Every year, the villagers made offerings at the riverbank to keep the spirit content, leaving gifts of food, ornaments, and woven cloth. One year, however, a terrible drought came to the village. The river dried up to a trickle, the crops withered, and the animals became weak. The villagers were desperate and feared that they had somehow offended the river spirit. The elders gathered to discuss the situation. "We must offer more gifts," one elder suggested. "We must beg the river spirit for forgiveness," said another. But the chief, an old and wise man, shook his head. "Our offerings may no longer be enough. The spirit may want something more." The villagers murmured in worry. They had given all they could, but the drought persisted. Just when it seemed hope was lost, Amina, a young girl known for her bravery and sharp mind, stepped forward. "I will go and speak to the river spirit," Amina declared. The elders were shocked. "No one has ever seen the river spirit and returned to tell the tale," the chief warned. "It is too dangerous." But Amina was determined. "I have lived by the river all my life. I know its sounds, its currents, and its moods. If the spirit is displeased, perhaps I can understand why." Her parents were afraid to let her go, but they saw the determination in her eyes. "May the ancestors protect you, my daughter," her mother said, handing her a small basket of fruits and herbs as an offering to the spirit. With a steady heart, Amina set out at dawn, walking along the riverbank. The land was dry and cracked, and the once mighty river Zanga now barely flowed. As she walked, she sang softly to the river, hoping that her song would reach the spirit. She followed the river upstream, where the waters came from the mountains, and after hours of walking, she arrived at a secluded part of the river surrounded by tall trees and smooth rocks. There, the river flowed a little stronger, and the air felt cooler. Amina knelt by the water's edge and placed her basket of offerings beside her. She dipped her hands into the water and spoke softly, "River spirit, I have come to seek your wisdom. Our village is suffering, and we do not know how to make things right. Please, show yourself." For a moment, all was silent. Then, a gentle breeze stirred the leaves, and the water began to ripple. Amina watched in awe as the water rose and took the form of a tall, graceful figure made entirely of water. The river spirit had appeared. Its voice was soft, like the sound of a flowing stream. "Why have you come, child of the village?" Amina stood, her heart pounding but her voice steady. "Our river has dried, and the land is parched. The people are suffering. We do not know what we have done to anger you, Great Spirit. I have come to ask for your forgiveness and to learn how we can make amends." The river spirit's eyes, like clear water, gazed at her for a long moment. "Your village has not angered me, brave one. The drought comes not from your deeds but from the changes of the earth. The land is thirsty, and the rains have failed. But I sense something different in your heart. You do not come merely to beg, do you?" Amina nodded. I want to understand, Great Spirit. I want to help my people, not just with offerings, but by finding a way to restore the balance. The river spirit's form shimmered, and it smiled. You are wise beyond your years, child. The land is indeed out of balance, and the rains will return when the balance is restored. But there is a greater danger, a danger that comes from human greed. Far upriver, where the forest grows thick, people have begun to cut down the trees that hold the water in the earth. Without the trees, the rivers will continue to dry, and no offering will change that. Amina's eyes widened. What can I do to stop this? The river spirit knelt by the water and placed a hand on Amina's shoulder. The trees must be protected. Go to your people and tell them to stop those who cut down the forest. Plant new trees, and the rains will return. It is not me you must appease, but the earth itself. With a wave of its hand, the river spirit caused the waters to rise just a little, enough to bring life back to the village for a short while. This is my gift to you for your bravery. Use this time wisely, young one. Amina thanked the spirit deeply and promised to do everything in her power to save the trees. The spirit nodded and slowly dissolved back into the river, leaving the water calm and clear. Amina returned to the village with news of what she had learned. The chief and the elders listened carefully and decided to act immediately. They organized groups to journey upriver, where they confronted the people cutting down the trees. With patience and diplomacy, they convinced them to stop and helped plant new trees along the river banks. As the days passed, the skies darkened, and soon, the long-awaited rains came pouring down. The river swelled, and the land became green and fertile once again. The people of the village celebrated, not just because of the rain, but because they had learned the true secret of balance between humans and nature. And as for Amina, she became known far and wide as the brave girl who spoke to the river spirit and saved her village, not through offerings or fear, but through wisdom and courage.